Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning here today, bringing you cats Kingdom. Finally, Kingdom chapters 500 through 502 review / discussion. Now, discussion because when it comes to my normal review format, I may forego that for the most part because I do want to talk about what we've got for these past 3 chapters in a general sense, because shit's getting heavy right now. Because Zhao right now is on the precipice of destruction, because we have on the Eastern Front, we have Yan now coming in, Great General of Yan, Ordo, coming in, because Ri Boku so focused on the West, Quinn with 200,000 men marching on the Western Front. Now again, the assumption here is that on Zhao's part, you're going to have to face them on the Cocoa Hills until at the end of chapter 502, where Ri Boku, he gets word finally from Zhao, I think that's his name, the guy who I think has like blondish hair, one of Ri Boku's subordinates, the guy who was watching the food supplies of Quinn and whatnot. Basically, he finds out, wait, hold on a second, there's no way that they could like fake their food supplies, but if they have, then where are they going? Are they going to change directions from Kinnan, this supply depot? And then it's like, where they go, you, the only direction is you, straight for the capital area of Zhao. Ri Boku lost composure. Ri Boku, fuck, this can't be happening. Are you mad, Quinn? Are you insane? Have you lost your marbles? I'm not gonna lie, man. Ordo and Yan coming in there was huge shocker. That just stunned me. Osin's been so good thus far. You have to wonder, did Osin play a role in making Ordo attack Zhao now at this point in time? It just so happens that as Quinn with 200,000 men are marching on the Zhao Western Front, you have Ordo and company, here they are marching on the east. Now, there is apparently a like random amazing safeguard in place for Zhao, where Ordo, he is going, I think, a little bit to the south of the eastern region of Zhao, and apparently there's a city called Sekai. Apparently, there lives a guy called Shibasho. And apparently, Shibasho is so skilled, where in the past, Ri Boku recommended him to be one of the 3 great heavens, Zhao. Like, that's the only thing in the story. That's the only thing in these chapters I was kind of like, who? Who? Like, that really kind of threw me off for like a loop and a half. Now, granted, the one guy who serves Kisui, I forgot what his name was, like the big dude, he says that's where you find like all the monsters and whatnot, in like these random areas and like the countryside. And to be fair, you know, Kisui and the men of Reigen, they're of the same ilk. And you could also say, I guess, when it comes to surprises, like each state has their own surprise. Wei had the fire dragons. When it comes to Ki, when it comes to Yan, we know very little of those 2 states, in all honesty. And Han has been kind of obscure as well, but Han did have the poison cats that came in during the Great Coalition War. Ultimately speaking, when it comes to like hidden potentials that exist within these countries, or like hidden amazing powers, they probably do exist. But this guy, not even like Fuite and company had heard about this guy. So like that to me, I found a little bit strange. Also, I have to wonder, did Ordo purposefully go in that direction? Like maybe this Shibasho dude is also under the control of Osin. Like it just makes you wonder, how deep are Osin's pockets, all right? Where are his strings? Who is he manipulating? If you remember, there was a conflict between Ordo and Osin during the Coalition arc, and Osin did try and get Ordo into his fold, but he failed because the dude that he sent to go capture Ordo got decimated in like one shot. Just get out of here, bro. However, who's to say that Osin and Ordo never had contact ever since the Coalition arc? Understand that during that arc, Osin sent some dude to go and try and capture Ordo. Osin wanted Ordo to be a part of his men, if you would, but it didn't happen. Supposedly, like Osin is just, he's a massive X factor. Osin is impressive, very impressive. And we haven't even gone to the fighting itself yet. This is all the battle before the battle. It is trying to fool Ri Boku as long as possible until they actually start marching to Gyu. The Quinn army is already gone in the midst of the night without a trace. They're already heading to Gyu. Oh, it's like, bro, this dude Osen, very, very impressive, man. Like, the whole thing is Osen. Ordo, I believe, is Osen. When it comes to Shibasho, maybe not Osen. Maybe not. But that's a maybe. Osen may still have a role in that as well. So, let's get down to the PB&J here. When it comes to the pacing of the chapters, each one you can say is relatively the same when it comes to pacing. Overall structure and pacing. The focus centerpiece here of all 3 chapters is Zhao and how Zhao reacts to these changes on both the eastern and western fronts, and how you have the eastern front, you have Yan finally making moves here. But when it comes to the overall pacing, it's again mainly focused on Zhao. Then we get to see what Quinn's doing. We get to see a bit of what Ordo's doing, but it's Zhao reacting to these changes. And when I say Zhao, I mean mainly Ri Boku and the men around him, and how they are trying to think of a way of dealing with both east and west enemies. Now, it looks like for the east, for the time being, they're in the clear because of Shibasha. When they were going to have this guy Kocho, the heavenly or the guardian deity of the royal capital, they were going to send Kocho to the west so they can deal with the oncoming Quinn forces. But because of Ordo, they were going to make plans to send him to the east. However, again, because of Shibasho, who makes things very convenient, too convenient in fact, for Ri Boku, they can now probably keep Kocho going to the west. You have that going on for the majority of all 3 chapters when it comes to me pacing, when it comes from a structure standpoint. All right, again, focal piece here, Zhao, and then we get bits of what's going on with Quinn, and they're marching, and that's really it. And overall, that's pretty fine pacing for all 3 chapters. Nothing really too different there. Now, when it comes to story progression, 500, they're just marching. You have dialogue between Ten and Yotanwa, talking about how the battle's already begun. You have to keep an atmosphere of how this is just another regular battle, even though it's far from, but you have to maintain that atmosphere. So if you are hesitant and if you're worried, that's gonna trickle down to your men. So it's a very intriguing part of this whole strategy. The atmosphere of the troops matters in this case because we're trying to fool Ri Boku. Not only that, but the supplies themselves, they were already altered like 3 or 4 months ago. Again, my assumption here, it was predominantly Osen who did so, but odds are is that you also need the approval of the Quinn higher-ups. So I suppose that yes, the Quinn higher-ups didn't know about it, but the way things seemed, it just seemed like it was just Osen himself, like boom, yeah, I did this shit. I'm on point. That's the overall story progression of chapter 500. In that sense, it pales in comparison to the other 2 chapters, where chapter 501, not only is it Shu Suiju finding out, or at least assuming that there's something false about the food supplies, him sending over a message to Ri Boku, but then it is massive news of Yan moving. You have Quinn on the move. We already knew that was gonna happen in the previous chapter, chapter 499. Obviously. But finding out, for the sake of the story, that a whole new state, a state that wasn't even a factor, Yan, now moving. Oh! Ordo! Like, I'm coming, man. I'm coming. You left your back wide open. I'm coming, man. Excuse me? Like, that's the look on your face when you read that Ordo, great general of Yan, on the move. And the timing was so perfect where it's like, yo, did Osen do something to Ordo? Like, did he make a deal with Ordo in some way, shape, or form? Is that why Ordo's moving? Did Osen continue to pursue Ordo and succeeded in doing so? And now he has Ordo somewhat in his pocket. Oh my goodness, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Love it. Okay, so you have that. And then in chapter 502, you have finally Ri Boku realizing they're going for Gyu. which is major. Quinn in the dead of night, already gone from the supply depot, Kinnan, already marching towards Gyu. Then you have the Shibasho dude, and then Yan already taking over a few of these cities within the Zhao Eastern Front. So overall, story progression wise, chapter 502 and 501 have more than 500. That's what I would say. And now we go on to characterization, character development, the character section of the video. First of all, there is, I can't say his name properly, like it's just hard for some reason, for me at least. It's Zhao Shuiju, something like that. And Zhao Shuiju, he is very perceptive, but in like odd ways. He actually kind of reminds me of Kesha. So like he was able to deduce that there was something off with the supplies in Kinnan because the spies, they had been captured, they had been taken out. He then perceived, hold on, our spies in the supply depot city were taken out. So there's extra security in Kinnan. Why? Then he deduces, well, then maybe something's wrong with the actual supplies themselves. So he sends a message to Ri Boku, and at the same time, he tells one of his men to get one of the spies to check the food supplies that are going from Kinnan to Kokyo, the hills. Because we know that those are fake. They're full of dirt and like wood. The real food supplies are already in Kinnan. So he was able to perceive that. That was impressive, that level of deduction. Moving on from there, we have a bit for Yotanwa in chapter 500 where Yotanwa, Ken and her reminisce about like the old days when she first met them. And she kind of saw this coming, Yotanwa. And then she talks about how you have to maintain this atmosphere because even though this battle is gonna be a crazy battle, because we're gonna be fighting in the capital areas of Zhao, we have to maintain the atmosphere of this is a regular battle so we can full Ri Boku for as long as possible. So there is characterization a bit for Yotanwa in that sense. It's gonna help Ten grow as a strategist, understanding that you have to think on a much deeper level when it comes to strategy. You just can't think of the board and like chess pieces. Also think of the atmosphere of your men, think of weather changes, that kind of stuff. Next for characterization is going to be Osen. And Osen you can't say for sure, but Osen in a way gets the most characterization because of his supposed manipulation of events. Now, I would say that he was the key reason why the supplies changed from Kinnan to Kokyo, where 3 months ago, like probably Osen knew something and he's like, you know what, let's change the supply routes. Let's make sure that we have supplies already in Kinnan and let's kill all the spies there as well. Okay, fine. That's an assumption, but we did see that he was able to perceive the weather beforehand, similar to something that Kyokai would do. And he was able to make sure that his men had enough stamina, so when the real march came, they were ready. So his depth of strategy goes that deep. When they did reach Kinnan, the supplies were already outside. They were gonna leave in the dead of night, and if any squads lagged behind, I'm assuming squads of like 10 or something, any squads that lagged behind, the commanders would get executed. So it is tick-tock, tick-tock, happy feet, Usain Bolt speeds, like this dude Osen. And I'm going to presume as well that Osen he plays some factor as to why Ordo was on the move. I can't say for certain, at all, but people, I have to assume that Ordo's on the move in part because of Osen. I have to, man. It's just too much of good timing. Understand, it's not just Yan. It is specifically Great General Ordo. Of all the people that just so happen to be on the move in Yan, of all of the great generals of Yan that just so happen to be on the move, and I'm assuming that there's more. I don't think Ordo is the only great general, but let's assume that he's not. He could be, but let's assume that he's not. Of all the great generals of Yan that are on the move, it is Ordo specifically that's on the move. That's where it's like, Ordo, And then finally, we have Shibasho. Again, this hidden, wondrous dude who was on the same tier as the three great heavens of Zhao, which again is like, apparently doesn't want to deal with like the capital areas of Zhao, probably hates those people, hates the politicians, hates the emperor, maybe, who knows. He has 5,000 men on deck and he seems to be engaged with Ordo at this point in time. So right now it is simply put the march of Quinn in the dead of night. and I'm assuming that we're going to be following Zhao and their reaction for a little while longer. All it is for Quinn is just a march. When it comes to Zhao, it's preparations, it's, I guess, finding out who Shibasho is, it's finding out who Kocho is as well. Yeah, characterization for Kocho, because Kocho, we haven't seen his face at all, but he is the guardian deity of the capital area. He's coming too. In the next chapter, we're probably going to be getting Zhao and the Zhao Scramble to try and combat the oncoming Quinn forces to Gyu. But they're going to fail in getting there in time because, again, Quinn is already gone in the dead of night. And on top of that, Osen may have another like hidden route that we're not aware of. Like, the assumption is, let's get past this other city to then get to Gyu, or there could be like a side route that he has conceived of, like some crazy shit like that. Again, we have to wait and see how it rolls. So that being said, folks, these 3 chapters have been exciting, have been suspenseful, because it's getting really heavy. The battle before the battle, like massively heavy. And in all honesty, this buildup is fantastic. Like, the buildup, I would say, is on the same tier as the Coalition arc, where it was a mad scramble on the part of Quinn to get back to like a certain area in Quinn, the gate area, where they can face off the Coalition forces. Whereas in this case, it's not going to be a scramble on Zhao's part to try and fend off both Yan and Quinn, but now just Quinn. However, Quinn is already gone in the dead of night. It's gonna be good. That being said, folks, I am done. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.